AITA for not reimbursing my nanny for books she bought for my daughter? I am not the original poster. That is you, Forrester7. They posted in r, am I the asshole? Because this concerns Star Trek: The Next Generation. I thought I'd share some facts about the show to cover up spoilers. Apparently Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, did not like the idea of a bald English captain. However, after many auditions, executive producer Rick Berman kept bringing up Sir Patrick Stewart, and Roddenberry finally caved. On the condition Stewart wear a wig in the audition. He did, got the role, and then never actually wore the wig in the series. Mood spoiler. This story is fairly low stakes. Less than. Original post. March 23, 2023. My daughter, Ruby, is 12. Recently, she has gotten into the original Star Trek show, as well as The Next Generation. Ruby is also a big reader and has started to collect a few of the old Star Trek books that she finds in used bookstores and thrift stores. These books usually cost anywhere from 50 cents to a couple of dollars. My nanny, Tessa, F22, hangs out with Ruby most days after she gets out of school. Tessa has been our nanny for over a year now, and she and Ruby get along great. Tessa is big into thrifting and will often keep an eye out for the books Ruby wants. This is not typically a problem, and Ruby always pays Tessa back for the books using her allowance. The problem occurred when Tessa went on a family vacation out west. Apparently she went thrifting during this trip and found some books for Ruby. She texted Ruby asking her if she wanted the books, and Ruby said yes. Well, Tessa returned yesterday with a stack of about 35 books and told Ruby they cost $50. Ruby doesn't have this much money and told Tessa. Tessa then asked me if I would cover the cost. I said no, as Tessa had never asked me about buying Ruby the books. Nor was I aware of the conversation between the two of them. Tessa got upset, and I asked Ruby to show me the text, which made no mention of price or even the amount of books she was buying. Tessa only said that she found some books for Ruby. Ruby is on the autism spectrum and does not read between the lines. You have to be very literal with her. Previously, Tessa has never bought Ruby more than 1 or 2 books at a time. So I told her that she should have clarified with Ruby regarding the amount, or double-checked with me before purchasing, and that I would not be paying the $50. Tessa said she could not return the books because they came from the thrift store. I stood firm in my decision and reiterated that she should have asked me first. Tessa left and Ruby is very upset. I know Tessa is a student and does not have a ton of money, so am I the asshole for not paying Tessa for the books? Edit. Because some people are asking, I am a single parent to Ruby, and while $50 will not make or break the bank, it is definitely an unexpected expense. I provide Tessa with an extra amount of money each month to spend on whatever she wants to do with Ruby, movies, the mall, etc. If she wanted to spend this fund on books for Ruby, that would have been totally fine, but she had already used it up. Edit 2. I definitely didn't expect this post to blow up overnight, so I'm going to add a bit more context. For those of you who are asking how I can afford a nanny for Ruby and still have $50 be a large unexpected expense, I do not pay for Tessa's services. Because Ruby is on the spectrum, she is entitled to benefits from our state, including care. The agency I work with pays Tessa. I am not involved in that process at all. There are a lot of conflicting opinions. But ultimately OOP is judged YTA because of the top judgment comment. However, many people disagree. Update. Same post. March 24, 2023. Next day. Update. I appreciate everyone's valuable insights into the situation. I have seen a few comments hinting to me about the fact that I don't support my daughter's reading habit. Please know this is definitely not the case. We are both big readers and frequent patrons of our local library. I am always supportive of Ruby getting new books. I talked to Tessa and told her that I appreciate her for thinking of Ruby, apologized for the misunderstanding, and have paid her for the books. We had a chat about expectations in the future, and I don't think this will happen again. I have also talked to Ruby and we agreed that I would hold on to the books and she would pay me for them as she wishes. It's important to me that Ruby learns how to handle her finances appropriately. And we have decided that she will get 2 new books every week. She reads very quickly. After reading through your perspectives on the matter, I agree that it is better in the long run to lose the money and salvage the relationship between the 3 of us, and had not considered all the implications of doing otherwise. Lesson learned. Glad this worked out. But why on earth would Tessa not specify the amount of books and that she'd have to pay for them? I'm a grown woman and would most likely misunderstand this exchange, much less a 12-year-old child. I like the way Oop planned to teach Ruby about finances by having her budget and pay for 2 each week. Sounds like something my dad would have done as a banker who wanted us to learn to save and budget. Save and budget. Very clever solution to this problem, I think. Still find it weird that the nanny asked the kid, not the mom, if she wanted something without telling her the price first. If you ask me if I want something and don't tell me the price, make it clear you need me to pay you back. Ima assume it's a gift. Sue. May they all live long and prosper. I think Oop may have gotten a better reception if she had used the word caregiver or support worker instead of nanny. I receive similar benefits because of a physical disability, and I feel like using the word nanny implies a level of affluence and privilege that using governmental caregiving services doesn't. That would have helped people understand right off the bat that the cost of the books would have been a genuine hardship. Sure, it wasn't going to prevent her from putting food on the table, but her bank account as a single mother of a child receiving government benefits isn't exactly overflowing. I also read a lot of Star Trek books as a child, and I can imagine this exact situation arising with one of my older friends. I'm really glad it got resolved and no one feels ripped off or taken advantage of, and Ruby gets to be a giant nerd with her vintage novels. Glad they figured it out. But I'm not one for secret money deals with children. It seems inappropriate that Tessa is talking to Ruby exclusively about these books and refunding her the cost of them. Tessa should have talked to Oop and said if she found books, is it okay to purchase them and get refunded from Oop, not their child. That way a limit could have been placed on the cost and number of books. Rolling up to someone's house with 35 books demanding $50 from a child is out of line. I hope Oop told her to stop buying things for their child, especially if it can't be done with the activity allowance given. I don't understand the YTA judgment at all. While that many books for $50 is a steal, it's also an unexpected and unasked for expense that Opp was under no obligation to accept. At 22 years old, the nanny should know how to communicate better than that. And it's not OP's responsibility to manage the nanny's money. If Opp specifically promised to pay for all books the nanny could find, it would be different. But considering Ruby was the one paying, I think the nanny got a little carried away. I would have come down more on a nah-esh judgment than putting it just on the mom. If the nanny has been hanging out with the daughter that long, she should know by now that she has to be specific when talking to the daughter, especially when something as important as money is involved. Mom also had alternatives to flat out refusing to pay. She could have turned it into a teaching moment for her kid and the nanny and taken the book money out of the next month's fun budget to help the kid learn priorities and the nanny learn to judge her spending better. Still, sounds like things worked out with some communication. So all's well for now. I'm on team nah. Sure, the nanny got a little overexcited and wasn't specific, but do you have any idea how much work it is to move 35 books across multiple states along with your luggage and everything else while on vacation? This clearly came from a place of love, even if it was executed poorly. How is AITA? Tessa would know that Ruby is on the spectrum and that she would need to be literal when asking her something like amounts, etc. She's been her nanny for a year. So I would say that Tessa was in the wrong here. She's a 22 years old. She should know better. Paying for the books and setting clear boundaries is for the best maintain the relationship, but maybe have big things like this run through Who in their right mind expects a 12-year-old to have $50 lying around? 35 books is half a bookshelf and she didn't think to ask first? How are you going to spring a $50 charge on a 12-year-old and expect them to pay you? I have a 12-year-old nephew and I know for a fact he doesn't have $50 lying around to just hand out like that. I imagine most 12-year-olds don't. Am I the only one wondering WTF that nanny was thinking? What adult assumes a kid has $50 lying around? Man, I feel this kid so much. I was her when I was a child. I wanted to read so many books. I could finish reading 5 books a week during school holidays. It came to a point that my parents would limit me to buying only 1 book a month because books were expensive. My dad solved the problem by taking me to a rental bookstore so I could borrow dozens of books at once and pay only $2 a book to read them. I disagree with YTA. I think Tessa needed to specify it was $50 worth of books. Who spends $50 of someone else's money without checking it's okay? I do not get the YTA at all in this. If you ask my kid if he wants something, he will say yes all day long. You don't ask him. You ask me. This is especially true if you are buying $50 worth of things and expect me to pay you back for something I was not even aware I was buying. They must have been posting when all the teens were the ones giving judgments on AITA or something. Oh, I am glad this worked out. I was hoping for an update like this on the post. The nanny definitely should not have got so many books unilaterally given the family's situation. But that doesn't mean she's a bad person or anything. Same with the mom and daughter. On the other hand, I can't blame her for going after a deal, since 35 books for $50 is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not on the spectrum, but if someone says, some books, I don't think almost 3 dozen. Maybe 10. 35 books for $50? That's a bargain! Exclamation mark.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.